Welcome back. Uh, the same story is being continued. The enemy. It is prescribed in class 12 CBSE board. The book is Vistas. Up to now, we have read that Hana and Sadao, the doctor, they took a decision of curing a wounded enemy army soldier who was an American. They not only carried the man home but also started giving him the best treatment they could. In the very process, Sadao took a decision to operate him, and because no servant of the house was ready to help them out in doing such a work which no doubt would be considered a traitor's work if it was found. That is why Sadao had only one helping hand, and that was Hana. As soon as he started the operation, because Hana had never seen such gruesome things in her life, some living being operated and being surged into with an instrument in a hole in his body, she started retching. Sadao did not stop for Hana. He could not go to attend Hana, but he became a bit ruthless for the man whom he did not know why he was so curious to attend and so curious to treat. After retching, Hana came back. She is also firm in doing what her husband was doing, and entering there, Hana makes a comment that help us understanding the bond between the man and wife. Look at the textbook, try to understand, and more than watching video, if you can listen to the things that are being explained here, that will be of greater help. Open your notebook. Whenever you find a difficult word, you will find the meaning of that word then and there also, despite of the things that are given in description. Note it down on your textbook, and please keep preparing your notebook also. Let's start. The door opened and there was Hana again. "Where is the anesthetic?" she asked in a clear voice. Once again Hana came back. She was seen at the door, and entering the room, she asked Dr. Sadao, her husband, where was the anesthetic. She knew there was a greater responsibility that she had to carry out, and that was helping out the doctor with anesthesia, because he did not have any other helping hand there in the room, which was actually turned into an operation theater at that time. Sadao motioned with his chin. "It is as well that you came back," he said. "This fellow is beginning to steer." Sadao did not move much. He only steered his chin. He only tilted his face a bit like this and said, "It is good that you have come back, because the patient needs attention." He is steering, he is making movements. It means he wants some more anesthetic to be inhaled. Otherwise, he will wake up and will make everything difficult for the doctor to do. She had the bottle and some cotton in her hand. "But how shall I do it?" she asked. Up to now, she lifted up the bottle of the anesthesia. The anesthetic was in the hand of Hana, and she had cotton in her other hand, as the doctor had already instructed her. But what to do and how to do, she did not know. That's why she asked a question to Dr. Sadao, how to use these two things, how to give this anesthetic to the patient. Simply saturate the cotton and hold it near his nostrils. Sadao replied without delaying for one moment the intricate detail of his work. When he breathes badly, move it away a little. In a single line, in a single statement, Sadao explained everything to Hana. He was so good a doctor that he can train anything at the time of operation. He says there is nothing tedious to do, there is no difficult work to do except of watching him carefully and soaking the cotton well in that anesthetic and put it near the nostril so that he may inhale the smell of the anesthetic, and he will keep lying like this in unconscious state as long as there is the effect of anesthetic on his mind. When you think now he is breathing more rapid and trying to steer, put it closer to the nostrils, and if it seems to you that he is breathing heavy, then take it away from it. That was so simple. अब यहाँ पे दरवाज़ा खुलता है, हाना एक बार फिर से उल्टियाँ वगैरह कर चुकी है, अब थोड़ा राहत महसूस कर रही है। उल्टियाँ करने के बाद वो सीधी वापस आई उसी कमरे में जो कि इस समय ऑपरेशन थिएटर बना हुआ है, और आते ही वो सबसे पहले डॉक्टर से पूछती है, डॉक्टर सदाओ से पूछती है कि एनेस्थीसिया कहाँ है, बेहोशी वाली दवा कहाँ है। अपनी ठोड़ी से इशारा करते हुए सदाओ ने कहा, अच्छा हुआ तुम आ गई। उसे इशारा किया, हाँ उधर है, और देखते हुए उसे कहा, लेकिन अपने काम को रोका नहीं, एक सेकंड के लिए भी उसने उस अद्भुत तरीके से जो काम कर रहा था, यानी ही वॉज डूइंग द थिंग्स इन इंट्रिकेट मैनर विद द वुंड मेड बाय द बुलेट, तो वो उस कार्य को रोकता नहीं है और लगातार काम करते हुए उसने इशारा किया बोतल की तरफ और कहा वहाँ पे है। अच्छा हुआ कि तुम आ गई। ये अभी थोड़ा सा मूवमेंट करना शुरू कर चुका था। अब हाना के हाथ में एक एनेस्थेटिक की बोतल है और एक हाथ में उसके रुई है, और उस रुई को लेके वो खड़ी हुई है। क्या करे? उसने पूछा कैसे इसको इस्तेमाल करते हैं। सदाओ ने एक लाइन में जवाब दे दिया, कुछ करना नहीं है, उसको भिगो लो, रुई को उस दवा में भिगो लो और इस आदमी के नाक के पास में रखना ताकि उसे इनहेल करता रहे, और जब तुम्हें लगे कि इसकी ब्रीदिंग हैवी हो रही है, यानी बहुत डीप ब्रीदिंग में चला गया, यानी बेहोशी का असर ज़्यादा हो रहा है, तो उसको पास से हटा लेना। इट इज़ सो सिंपल। और ये कहते हुए उसने एक लाइन में न सिर्फ समझा दिया, बल्कि एक सेकंड के लिए भी, एक क्षण के लिए भी उसका हाथ रुका नहीं। ही वॉज कीपिंग हिज ऑपरेशन कंटिन्यू। वो लगातार अपने ऑपरेशन के जो इंट्रिकेट तरीका था, जो अद्भुत तरीका था, जो विचित्र तरीका था, उसको कंटिन्यू रखता है बिना एक सेकंड रुके। वो काफ़ी उलझा हुआ काम है, इसीलिए उसको इंट्रिकेट मैनर कहा जा रहा है। वो उसको करता रहता है। शी क्राउज्ड क्लोज टू द स्लीपिंग फेस ऑफ द यंग अमेरिकन। इट वॉज अ पिटियसली थिन फेस, शी थॉट, and the lips were twisted. Now because Hana had to give anesthesia, she had to come closer to the patient. He was the same enemy whom she did not like at all. Rather, she hated being with him. Either he was living or he was dead, he was conscious or unconscious or subconscious, whatever he was, but she did not like the idea of being with her. And now this was the fate and chance that she had to get closer to the man. Now she came closer to the face of the man because she has to provide him the anesthetic. And now she was reading the face of this piteous figure. It was a thin face. She started thinking about the man. His lips were twisted. The man was suffering whether he knew it or not. Watching him, she wondered if the stories they heard sometimes of the suffering of prisoners were true. His twisted lips made Hannah think about the torture that he would have undergone. The sign of the pain, the twisted lips were saying something about the pain that he was suffering, that he was bearing, even in his unconsciousness, and unknowingly, undeliberately, she started thinking about the condition and torture of the prisoners that very often were talked about in the public realm, which was given to the prisoners in the jails. That was inhuman. She was bound to think about it. This man was unconscious. It means he would have been dreaming about the torture that he had suffered in the prison, in the Japanese prison. And she had heard a lot of things about the inhuman treatment, inhuman tortures that were given in those jails. She was thinking that it was true. They came like flickers of rumors, told by word of mouth and always contradicted. Such news of torture in the jails, they came by word of mouth. One said to the other said to the third one said to the fourth. And in this way it spreaded like rumors, and soon some contradictions, some confrontation, some denying of the fact also came, and they think that no, because it is Japanese jail, there could not be an inhuman thing there. Nationalists think like this. In the newspapers, the reports were always that wherever the Japanese armies went, the people received them gladly, with cries of joy at their liberation. This is the problem of our world, not only in Japan, but everywhere in the world. The media says what the government wants. Media never does its work. Don't believe media. With your eyes shut, with your ears open to the rumors. Use your common sense. Here Hannah, who is also a nationalist, who did not want to be alone with a foreigner, with a prisoner, with an enemy, even at the position when he is dead. Yet she has the sense that whatever media says is not correct. They always report that our armies are welcomed by the people where they invade. Is it possible? Someone invades you and you receive them happily because they have liberated you. After seizing your freedom, they have liberated you. But the newspapers say so. The Japanese newspapers say so, that our Japanese army is so good that they are received open-handed everywhere they invade. But sometimes she remembered such men as General Takima. This is a very good description about the person, and everybody should think like Hannah. No doubt Hannah is a patriot, but she has not lost her senses. She is still a human being. She has not become a driven cattle. Now she is thinking about General Takima, who is the general of Japanese army. See what has happened. But sometimes she remembered such men as General Takima, who at home beat his wife cruelly, though no one mentioned it now that he had fought so victorious a battle in Manchuria. Now she is bound to think about the details. General Takima, who has been celebrated in the whole nation as a hero because he had fought many difficult battles in Manchuria. Now he has become a hero. And before a certain time, before a very little time period, he had been found beating his own wife in house cruelly. It is not reported that he has beaten his wife. Somebody had a quarrel with the wife. He was used to, he still is used to beating his wife cruelly at home. Such is the character of the man, and now he is the hero of the army. If a man like that could be so cruel to a woman in his power, would he not be cruel to one like this? For instance, Hana thinks, if a general like Takima is so cruel with a woman who is a subject, who is in his power at home, who is a family member also, but he beats her cruelly, what kind of a treatment would he give to the enemy soldiers? Even now, after knowing all this, do you require a proof? Do you require an example, an instance? Then sure, you are a fool if you cannot understand the things. अब यहाँ पे ऑपरेशन चल रहा है. ऑपरेशन चलने लगा तो ये हाना जाके वहीं सिरहाने उस व्यक्ति के बैठ गई, क्योंकि सिरहाने आप बैठेंगे नहीं तो उसके नाक के पास कैसे एनेस्थेटिक्स लगेंगे. आप बोल कुछ नहीं सकते हैं, आप डॉक्टर को डिस्टर्ब नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ये दिमाग अजीब सा होता है, अपना काम करता रहता है. हाना सोच रही है उसके बारे में. उसने ध्यान से उसके चेहरे को देखा. उसके होंठ भिंचे हुए थे, टेढ़े हो गए थे, ट्विस्टेड हो गए थे, मतलब भिंचे हुए थे. इसका मतलब बेहोशी में भी वो दर्द का अनुभव कर रहा था. उस दर्द का नहीं जो सदाओं के इंस्ट्रूमेंट से हो रहा था, क्योंकि उसे तो पता ही नहीं था दैट ही वॉज बीइंग ऑपरेटेड. तो आपको दर्द कौन सा महसूस होगा? जिससे आप रिसेंटली गुजरे हों, और रिसेंटली वो प्रिजन में था. उसके दर्द से भिंचे हुए होठों से अंदाज़ा लगाया जा सकता था कि प्रिजन में उसे किस तरह का टॉर्चर दिया गया होगा. वैसे भी जापानी जेलों में लोगों के साथ जो टॉर्चर किया जाता है उसकी खबरें उड़ती उड़ती इधर उधर से अक्सर आया करती हैं कि कितनी अमानवीय यातनाएं जापान की जेलों में दी जाती हैं वॉर प्रिजनर्स को. लेकिन जल्दी ही उनका खंडन भी आ जाता था. और चूँकि हम देशभक्त हैं जापानीज़, यू मे थिंक अबाउट योर सेल्फ बीइंग इंडियंस, बिकॉज हाना इज़ जापानीज़, आई एम सेइंग जापानीज़. तो हम जापानी तो भाई देशभक्त हैं. हम कैसे सोच सकते हैं कि जो हम यही मान लेते हैं, नहीं जो सरकार ने खंडन कर दिया कि हमारी जेलों में तो 5 स्टार होटल वाली सुविधाएं दी जा रही हैं, हम तो वही मानेंगे. लेकिन खबरें तो उड़ती हुई आ जाती थी, जल्दी उनका खंडन आ जाता था. लेकिन अखबारों में जो रिपोर्ट आती थी वो इससे बिल्कुल अलग थी. अखबारों में रिपोर्ट ये आती थी कि जहाँ जहाँ जापानीज़ आर्मी जाके आक्रमण करती है और जिन इलाकों पर कब्जा करती है, वहाँ के लोग हाथों में फूल मालाएं लेके उनका स्वागत करते हैं कि वे उन्हें आज़ाद करने आए. क्या आश्चर्यजनक नहीं है कि एक देश जिसके ऊपर आक्रमण करते हैं, एक क्षेत्र जिसके ऊपर आक्रमण करते हैं, उसे अपना गुलाम बनाते हैं, वहाँ के लोग फूल लेकर खड़े हो जाते हैं आपके स्वागत में. क्या यह संभव है? इसीलिए मीडिया की बातों पर कभी भी आँख कान नाक बंद करके विश्वास मत करिए. हमेशा उस एविडेंस को मत देखिए जो चित्रों में और तस्वीरों में दिखाया जाता है, जो मूवीज़ में दिखाया जाता है, जो रिपोर्टिंग में दिखाया जाता है. अपनी कॉमन सेंस को जागृत रखिए, क्योंकि मीडिया हमेशा एक पक्षीय सरकार की तरफ से बातें करती है. सरकार के मुखपत्र होते हैं ये मीडिया, और इस बात को हाना जानती थी. हाना ने वो एविडेंस जब अपने सामने देखा, उस अमेरिकन सोल्जर की हालत अपने सामने देखी, तो उसे हकीकत का पता अपने आप चलने लगा. अब वो सोचने पर मजबूर हो गई जनरल तकीमा के बारे में, जिनके बारे में कुछ समय पहले खबर आई थी कि वो अपनी पत्नी को क्रूरतापूर्वक, निर्दयतापूर्वक घर पे पीटते हैं. और फिर जनरल तकीमा ने कई साहसिक विजयें पाई, कई जीत दिलाई अपने देश को मंचूरिया में। परिणाम ये था कि वो तो देश के हीरो बन गए। अब कोई नहीं कहने वाला था कि वो अपनी पत्नी को निर्दयतापूर्वक पीटते हैं, लेकिन खबर तो पहले आ चुकी थी, तो ये आसानी से सोचा जा सकता है जो अपने ऊपर आश्रित अपने घर में रह रही एक महिला को, जो उसकी पत्नी है, उसको अगर निर्दयतापूर्वक, यहाँ पे शब्द क्रूअली का इस्तेमाल किया गया, वो उसे निर्दयतापूर्वक पीटता है, तो दुश्मन सिपाहियों के साथ वो कैसा आचरण करता होगा, ये सैनिक उसका उदाहरण है और सच्चाई भी आपके सामने रख सकता है, रख रहा है। हाना को सच्चाई नजर आने लगी थी। देखते हैं आगे। She hoped anxiously that this young man had not been tortured. It was at this moment that she observed deep red scars on his neck, just under the ear. But the mind is too clever. A nationalist mind is too clever. It becomes a subject to an idea that is superficial. I am not saying that one should not be a patriot, one should not be a nationalist, but one should not be a blind follower of nation at the time when it is wrong. Nation is never wrong. It is always the politicians, it is always the administration that are wrong. Most of the time they are wrong. You should not close your eyes towards them. But Hana wants to believe what was printed there in the newspaper, even after thinking all these things, because she is a patriot. She thinks that this man would not have been tortured, I hope. She is trying to console herself, to save her own conscience, to think good about her own army. But as soon as she thought that no, this may be true for others, but here he is lying, because he wanted to play a fugitive, that's why only a gunshot was there, anybody would do it. But as soon as she thought of such a thing, that the army did not torture him in the prison, she saw another thing. She looks at the scar that was there just below the neck of the soldier. There was a scar. It means he was cut from here. Sure, he was tortured. It could not have been love and affection that you cut someone's under the ear. You tried to cut him here. You tried to cut him here. This cannot be the good treatment. Sure, it was a torture. There was a deep scar. It is still there on the neck, just under the ear. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sadao. Looking at the scars, she turned towards Sadao and said, "What are these scars on his neck?" But he did not answer. At this moment, he felt the tip of his instrument strike against something hard, dangerously near the kidney. Sadao knew everything what happened there in the prison. He did not think that it was a question to be replied. He was continuously doing his own job, as if he were allowing Hana to understand the things, the reality herself, not by the answer, not by the replies every time from the husband's side. He gave the chance to Hana. And the other reason was that he was still busy in penetrating into the wound, and this was the moment when his instrument touched something that was hard. This was bullet, and it was really dangerous to pick it out. because the instrument shows it is very near to the kidney. If he would have not been very careful, the next movement of the instrument will push the bullet into the kidney and the man is gone. All thought left him. He felt only the purest pleasure. He probed with his finger delicately, familiar with every atom of this human body. Up to now, whatever he was thinking, all the thoughts have vanished from his head. Now he was only thinking about the body he was treating at that time. He put the instrument aside. He penetrated the wound with his own fingers. He knew that the instruments will not work, and he was now thinking about where his finger was reaching, as if he were very familiar with the body, and he knew where the bullet was and where he was penetrating into, as if remembering all the atoms, all the minute atoms of the body of the subject that was lying there under his knife, he was penetrating into. Very delicately, very familiarly. If you are not familiar with the human body, don't penetrate into. His old American professor of anatomy had seen to that knowledge. At that time, the doctor remembered only his professor. Whenever you need your knowledge, your education to be implemented in real life, you remember what your teacher had said. You remember what your professor had said. Only then you are a successful person in your trade. Now he remembers what his American professor had said about the body. That was the professor of anatomy. Ignorance of human body is the surgeon's cardinal sin, sirs. He was used to say all the time the very familiar phrase whenever he taught the newly entered doctors, the doctor's apprentices. He said, sirs, if you don't know about the body you are working on, then your ignorance is the greatest sin you can commit. Don't penetrate into the human body if you don't have the fullest understanding of the anatomy, about the body structure, about every atom you are going to touch. He had thundered at his classes year after year, and this statement of his was not for one instance or two instances. Year after year, until the study of Sadao went on, he always heard him say to operate without as complete knowledge of body as if you had made it. Anything less than that is murder. The finest line a doctor can teach to the apprentice. If you are going to operate a person, you should be familiar. You should be very, very closely familiar to the body, to the human body, as if you are not going to operate the thing you know, but as if you yourself have created it and you know everything about it. If you have a knowledge less than that, then you are not operating the man, you are not treating the man, you are not curing the man. Anything that you do is no less than murder. It is killing, not giving treatment, not curing. अब यहाँ पे काफ़ी चिंतित हो गए और आशा थी हाना की चिंता यहाँ पे जताई जा रही है। हाना बड़ी चिंतित थी और उसने तुरंत सोचा कि भले ही हमारी आर्मी टॉर्चर करने के लिए कभी कभी बदनाम होती है, लेकिन ज़रूर इस आदमी को तो बिल्कुल नहीं टॉर्चर किया गया होगा। बस यही वो समय था। अभी उसने सोचा ही था कि वो अपनी आर्मी को स्कॉट फ्री कर दें इन सभी एलिगेशन से, इन सारे आरोपों से। तभी उसको उस आदमी के गर्दन पर गहरे लाल रंग का स्कार दिखाई पड़ा यहाँ कान के नीचे। मतलब इतनी बुरी तरह से उसको टॉर्चर किया गया था कि स्कार के निशान, अभी उसके घावों के निशान लाल रंग के उसके मौजूद थे शरीर पर जहाँ था। देखते ही वो चौंकी कि हमारी आर्मी ने ऐसा किया। उसने सदाव से कहा, ये देखो इसको, इस तरह के स्कार, इस तरह के घाव की खरोंचें कैसी बनी हुई। फुसफुसाते उसने कहा। सदाव तो उधर देख ही नहीं रहा था, ना उसने ध्यान दिया, मानो सदाव ये चाहता है कि आप खुद से देख के निर्णय कर लीजिए ना, हर बार मेरी कंसेंट की क्या ज़रूरत है। उसने उत्तर नहीं दिया। अच्छा, एक कारण और था, ही वॉज फुल्ली अब्जॉर्ब्ड इन हिज ट्रेड, इन हिज वर्क। अभी तक वो इंस्ट्रूमेंट से खोज रहा था कि कहाँ पे है गोली। इसी समय उसका इंस्ट्रूमेंट किसी सख्त चीज़ से टकराया। ये गोली थी अंदर, बिल्कुल किडनी के पास। मतलब जरा सी गलत हरकत और आदमी वहीं पे मर जाएगा। अब उसने इंस्ट्रूमेंट को छोड़ के उंगलियों से पेनिट्रेट करना शुरू किया और वो बड़े प्यार से अंदर उस बुलेट तक पहुंचने की कोशिश कर रहा है। उसने उंगली से ढूंढा और बड़े कोमल तरीके से इंसान के उस शरीर को पेनिट्रेट करना शुरू किया, जिसके एक एक एटम को उसकी उंगलियां पहचान रही थीं। वो पहचान रहा था, हर एक संवेदना उस तक पहुंच रही थी। अभी इस समय उसको अपने पुराने प्रोफेसर की याद आ गई, जो एनाटॉमी के प्रोफेसर थे, जो मानव संरचना विज्ञान उसे पढ़ाते थे जब वो मेडिकल की पढ़ाई कर रहा था। उनकी एक बात उसे याद आई। वो हर साल दर साल जब तक ये लोग पढ़ाई किए तब तक वो ये चीज़ कहते रहे कि जो नए डॉक्टर्स थे उनको कहते थे, श्रीमान, मानव शरीर की जानकारी अगर आपको नहीं है और आप एक डॉक्टर हैं तो इससे बड़ा दूसरा पाप आप नहीं कर सकते। जिस शरीर का आप ऑपरेशन करने जा रहे हैं, जिस शरीर का आप इलाज करने जा रहे हैं, उसकी अगर इतनी अच्छी जानकारी आपको नहीं है, मानो आपने खुद उस शरीर की रचना की है, तो आप जो कुछ भी उस शरीर के साथ कर रहे हैं वो हत्या से छोटा अपराध नहीं हो सकता। कहने का मतलब ये है कि एक सर्जन अगर शरीर के सभी अंगों के बारे में, उसके एक एक पार्टिकल के बारे में, एक एक एटम के बारे में नहीं जानता है उतनी अच्छी तरह से जितना कि खुद स्वयं रचनाकार जानता हो, स्वयं उस बॉडी को बनाने वाला जानता हो, तो वो सर्जन सिर्फ एक हत्यारा है और वो इलाज नहीं, सिर्फ हत्या कर रहा है। टुडे वी विल स्टॉप हियर, बट द स्टोरी विल गो ऑन in the next video. Don't forget to read the things that are written in description box. There will be link of the previous videos. Keep finding the links, keep following the links. Liking, sharing, subscribing will also go on. If you don't do it, that is also a kind of crime, as a surgeon does if he does not know anything about the body he is going to operate. This is also a crime if you are not liking, if you are not commenting, if you are not subscribing the channel. We will meet again. Have a nice day.